triple negative breast cancer. All right. Not only did I have a lump in my breast, but it was in my lymph nodes as well. Stage 3 cancer. The doctors prescribed me. I was supposed to be on chemotherapy until May of this year. But because of the power of God, come on, listen to me, people. Because of the power of God, all right, I was on the drip for 4 months. The cancer went away. All right. I had a procedure done September 29th. No cancer cells in the body. I give God the praise. Hallelujah. The living benefit couldn't do that. Life insurance couldn't do that. But assurance did that. Come on. I didn't come to preach this morning. I come to talk about life insurance. Hallelujah. But anyway, hallelujah. I cannot talk about the living benefits without giving God the glory for what he did in my body. But because I had that a living benefit attached to my policy, it was an investment. Watch it now. It was an investment tool to supplement our retirement. I'm going to talk about that IUL in just a little bit. I know I got 15 minutes. I'm hurrying. And so what I did was I called my carrier, Mutual Omaha, and told them what had happened. All right. There was a process that took place. They had to verify everything with my doctor. My doctor wrote it off as a critical illness. All right. And so Mutual Omaha, watch this, sent me a check in my name, not in the doctor's name, not in the hospital name, but in my name for $100,000. Come on, listen, people. How long you think this living benefit has been around? This living benefit has been around since 1937. So my question is this, because I watched the insurance man come to my grandmother's house when I was a little girl. Mama Jessie had insurance on everybody. Come on. Why didn't they tell her about this living benefit? My grandmother suffered with heart disease, chronic heart disease. She could have benefited from that living benefit. Just think, you know, if our ancestors or the people that have gone on before us had access to the living benefit, where will we be financially? Come on, we got to start changing the demographics. What do you see on Facebook and social media when people die? You see GoFundMes. The purpose of a GoFundMe was created to help entrepreneurs that want to start their own businesses. All right. But at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do. If we don't have money to bury our loved ones, we got to sell chicken. We got to do these things or whatever to bury our loved one. But there is a more excellent way. There is a better way, and it's called a living benefit. And so that's one thing that we do. Second thing that we do, we know that we are in a recession. I know we are feeling it. Everybody's feeling the effects of this recession. Prices of food has gone up. Gas prices are going up. Come on, an overall 9.1% of inflation that we're experiencing since this recession, and we ain't really got started with it yet. Everybody is experiencing the effects of this recession. CNBC News said last year, 2022, America lost $7 trillion in people's retirement funds. How many people paying on 401ks, paying money into 401ks? Come on, 403bs, your IRAs, your Roth, all of those retirement investments, those investments that you're making, they're tied to the stock market, all right? You can make a lot of money. You can grow your money in these investments. I'm not against it. I had a 401k also, all right? But the reality of it is this. When the stock market drops, you're losing anywhere from 20 to 30, sometimes 40% of your retirement. And the reality is this, guys, if we don't change what we're doing, what do you see when you go to Walmart? You're seeing elderly people working beyond retirement age. They're not working because they want to. They're working because they've lost money in their retirement, you know. And also history says that, yeah, the stock market does go down, but it's going to go back up. It always does. Yeah, that may be true. But let me ask you this. Are they going to give you the money that you lost? Are they going to give you that back? And so sometimes we're always playing catch up as it relates to our retirement. And we're making other investments to kind of make up for that, and that's good. But we teach people how that they can invest in a retirement where they'll never experience market losses. They'll never pay taxes on their money. If they want to go at it before 59 and a half, they can do that without being penalized. What is this called? This is called an annuity, a fixed index annuity. All right, where you'll get up to 16% compounding interest on your money every year. That's huge. All right, because like I said, those investments, those retirement investments, they're tied to the stock market. And so that when the stock market goes up, you experience the gains, but you also experience the loss. But with this index annuity, you will never lose 1 penny of your money when the stock market drops below zero. All right? And that's huge because zero becomes your hero. For instance, if I got 500K in an index annuity fund, how much time do I have, baby? How much time do I have? Because I want to make sure I have time for answering questions. All right. Awesome. Okay. And so if I have 5K in the annuity fund, all right, in that index annuity, when the stock market drops, I'm going to still have my 500K. I'm not going to lose 1 penny of my money. Now, I'm not going to gain while the stock market is down. But once the stock market starts going back up again, I'm going to start experiencing the gains, up to 16% compounding interest on my money. That's huge. All right. Never pay any taxes, no losses, no penalties. At the end, I can turn on an income rider and live off my money up until 120 years if I live that long. The Bible promises us at least 120 years as believers. I don't know if you, I believe it. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Amen. And so what does that mean for a teacher that's 48, that has 48, making $48,000 a year, all right? And she may have 200K in her retirement fund when she reaches 61. 200K is not really a whole lot of money when you got to divide it up into 20 years. That may be $800 a month. 20 years, you're out of the money. How many can live off of $800 a month? All right. So we're doing other things to supplement our retirement, and that is good. But we're teaching you how that you can take that same 100K, put it in an index annuity to where you're getting up to 16% compounding interest on your money, never losing, never losing. You leave it there for 20 years. That 200K can turn into almost $2.8 million. Where then you can turn on an income rider and live every year off $127,000 a year until you die. That's good retirement money. All right. It depends on the type of index fund that you get, the type of money that you're putting in there for the numbers to click and make it to where you want to be. That's the second thing we do. The third thing, and I'm sitting down, the third thing that we do, we know America's in trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. All right. When your debt goes up, come on, it's hard for you to realize your dreams, to get into that home or to get into that car or to send your children to the schools of their choice. All right. And so we're teaching people how to get out of debt. The company that we partner with, PHP Agency, they have financial experts that can take a look at your debt. If you have $7,500 or more in debt, they can look at your debt, cut it 60%, all right, and devise you a plan to where you get out of debt within 2 to 3 years instead of climbing a 30 or 20-year debt. All right, that's huge. People want to know how that they can get out of debt, how that they can lower their debt, their credit score can get up, and they're able to get into and realize their dreams and do things that they want to do. All right, and so those are the three things that we do. I want to go back to that living benefit. That's my baby. When I got the money, like I said, in my name, it's tax-free money. I didn't have to pay any taxes on that money. And so I was able to use that money. Prior coming and being a partner of this company, you know, sadly to say, I'm not proud of it. My husband and I, we didn't even have life insurance. I remember sitting down with Pastor Mack and saying, hey, babe, we got to do something this year. We cannot go another year without life insurance. What is going to happen to our children if something happens to us? That was that same year, Bishop, January of that same year. We came into the company in March. All right, 10 months later, I went to the doctor, got diagnosed stage 3 triple negative breast cancer. If we hadn't taken advantage of that living benefit, I don't know where we would be financially because I had to take off work to get on the drip, but because we were able to access that money, we didn't have to worry about bills. Pastor Mac didn't have to worry about how we're going to pay our bills. How, our livelihood didn't change. As a matter of fact, Bishop, come on, it went to a whole nother level. I'm driving that Cadillac that you prophesied to me a year or so ago is right out there in the parking lot. We were able to put money on a new home. Come on, I'm talking about what God can do because we had been praying for another stream of income, Bishop, and my husband was at work on a non-eventful day. This Pastor Wayne Buggs, walks into his organization or his workplace and was talking to somebody else about this company. My husband just happens to walk up on the conversation. See, when you begin to pray to God, God will open up doors and make things happen for you that you can't make for yourself. And so my husband heard about the company, brought it home. I was very skeptical, Bishop, but I had already, like I said, we had already been praying. And so we did our research. We listened to the presentation. We took advantage of those living benefits. And 10 months later, this diagnosis came up. I didn't have a problem with faith because we were already believers, and so that was already done. I just stood in the place of my healing until cancer left my body. And the reality of it is this, guys. Yes, we will have issues sometimes in our body. And a lot of times, if we're believing God, if we're Christians, we know that by the stripes we're healed. A lot of times people get healed. People are, their bodies are being restored. But a lot of times our finances don't recover. And so that's why we are so adamant about getting this information out. I'm going to open it up for questions if anybody have questions. Again, I want to thank Bishop for allowing us to come and share. I just kind of did a snippet of what our company can really offer and the benefits that are impacting communities. I thank God for my business partner. She's doing an amazing job. I've been in this company and we started our organization, D2R Wealth Builders. Now I have 6 agent licenses under me. I'm licensed in 5 states to do what I do. God is doing some amazing things. He's getting money into the kingdom so we can begin to move the kingdom and do ministry the way God really wants us to do it. Thank you, Bishop. Any questions? Anybody have any questions?
Yes, Pastor Mac. First of all, thank you. Excellent presentation. Guys, let's give her a big God bless you. My question is this: for those that may occupy the room of unlearned and may not be as financially literate as others and wanted to invest, let's say hypothetically, in an annuity, what kind of money would they need to do that?
Okay. So there are different types of annuities. And so there are those that have like maybe a minimum of $5,000. There is called what is called National Life. They offer a fit growth annuity. So you can start there on a smaller level. But those of you that may have money just sitting, I know a lot of times, I know in 2020, people was getting off of work and they were able to tap into their retirement. And so people may have, large amounts of money just sitting around in the bank, not getting zero, they don't pay us anything, guys. Okay, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, and so if you have 10 grand or more, you can invest in what is called a Vega. We have a Vega annuity. And so there's different types. And so if you have anywhere from 10 grand on up, you can invest in those annuities. If you have a minimum of 5,000, you can invest in that annuity as well. Any other questions? Mm-hmm.
On the living benefits, does pre-existing illness affect that?
It could. It depends on what the scenario is. The good thing about our company, we represent 140 companies, and so we're able to shop our clients around to get the best rates. And also, there are certain companies like Foresters and North American, they cater to clients that have pre-existing illnesses. And so that we've had some tough cases, but thanks be unto God, I have testimonies to where I've gotten people covered that have chronic kidney disease, fibromyalgia, diabetes, even up if you have a A1C of 12, we've got people covered. And so, yes, we can. But like I say, at the end of the day, once we submit those policies, it goes to the underwriters and they make the final decision. Okay, any other questions?
The free rider.
All the companies that we represent, like I said, when you look into our neighborhoods, you don't see a lot of those top companies like Foresters. You might not see because they don't really deal in brick and mortar. You know, they don't spend money on buildings. You know, we are their marketing tools. We connect the clients to these huge companies where they have billions and billions of dollars on reserve, and so they can put their name, you know, on your policy, and they also have the money to back up the promises that they make on these living benefits. And so the smaller companies like State Farm and those guys, they don't offer these living benefits. And some companies offer them, but they offer them at another separate price, okay? But the companies that we represent, you just pay one premium, whatever your premium is. If it's $40 a month, you know, and something happened, these companies will pay out. Even if it's day one you get approved and something happens, they are able to pay out and put their name on that. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. As far as the annuity, is 5,000 the lowest amount?
Yeah, it is.
It is the lowest amount.
You can, yes, and with that, when you do your annuities, you can make a one-time lump sum, just leave it there and sit, or you can make that lump sum and you can pay, you know, do your monthly contributions if you want to do that as well. Any other questions? Thank you again. I'm so excited I get a chance to come and share this with you guys. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Sandra. Be blessed. Have a great day.
Let's give her a round of applause, y'all. That was some great information. At this time, we will have our next presenters to come up. Financial investments.
Awesome. Hi, y'all. So, most of you know me, but well, maybe y'all don't. My name is Latanzia Montgomery, and I'm a financial coach. We have a presentation that we need to start. Okay.
While we're waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Walter Brown. I don't know all of you. I haven't been to this church. However, first cousin Kenneth Smith. Kenny, wave your hand, Kenny. First cousin Kenneth Smith. Actually, my son's works in my son's pediatrician's office. Is at the back in the pink, lovely pink shirt. And I just want to say thank you. I never feel like a stranger in the house of the Lord. I feel like, you know, whether we family by blood or family by the blood, I feel like we're all family. So I appreciate the opportunity of being here. I want to give you a pastor in your church a shout out simply because of having the forward thinking to say, hey, we need to educate our people. And when I say our people, I don't just mean black people. I'm talking about people in the middle income group. The people that get looked over. I don't know about y'all, but Morgan Stanley's not calling my house asking me, do I want to invest? Okay? But we're going to get started. I don't want to hold us up. I don't want to waste our time. So, Sister Montgomery, go right ahead.
I was waiting on our presentation to get started. Awesome. So I'm super excited to be here to share a little bit about what we do. We're super excited. I love working with people. I love encouraging people to invest and get started with investment. Okay, so I'm going to start with a little bit about who we are. We are named by Forbes to be one of the most trustworthy financial companies. We're super excited about that, right? Because whenever you're handling people's finances, what we find out is very important to trust. And I always say, listen, There's two things you don't mess with: my kids and my money. Right? And if you don't mess with those two things, we can probably be cool about that. We've also gotten a Dalbor Award 19 years in a row for investments, and then we also have an A+ rating by AM Best. Next slide, please. Okay, and then we've also been voted to be the #1 trusted insurance company and the #3 most trusted investment company. We're excited about that too. In addition to that, we're also a Fortune 1000 company. And so what we do basically is help people build what we call the financial house. And whenever you start a house, you always begin with the foundation, right? Because if there's not a sure foundation, the house is definitely going to fall. And to start that, we always start with life insurance, right? And what we do as far as life insurance goes, we talk about protecting your income. And so the pastor talked about, they call theirs the living benefit. Well, on all of our policies are attached what we call a terminal illness rider. That's for every policy. We do not go up to 85%, but we go from 40 to 70%. And that's on all policies. And so the next rung of that ladder, so once we get your income protected, the next thing is getting you on a budget, right? Getting you a will to tell people where you want the money to go. So me personally, I have $865,000 of coverage on my life, right? And the reason why I have that amount is because $500,000 of that is going to go to my son who has autism that's going to be with me, right? And so until I build the wealth that I need him to have, I got to have enough wealth on my life so that if anything happens to me prematurely, he good to go. But I need a will in place that's going to tell people, listen, you can't spend that $500,000, but I'll put that in a trust for Daniel, and he's going to live off the interest of that money, right? So if you don't have a will in place, and so we provide an opportunity for you to get a free will prepared to tell people where you want that money to go, right? It's hard to see from back here. Let me see, because I didn't put my glasses on, Walter.
I call that for you.
Thank you.
And the next one is retirement. No, I'm jumping ahead. The next one is paying off debt.
All right, and then we analyze your finances. We do a financial needs analysis, and just like all companies that do that, you do have to have a license to do what we do. And in my organization, I have 17 licenses on my team, and so. But we teach you what we do call debt stacking. So we draw up a plan, teach you how to do that once we analyze your finances. What's the next one, Walter?
The next one would be retirement.
Okay, retirement account. So once you get out of debt, that means you have enough money left over to get out of, and I forgot about emergency funds. That's on the second run.
I'll talk about it.
Okay, you're gonna talk about the good, thank you. All right. And then college savings. I got that one. College savings. So we want you, if you have young kids, we teach you how to start saving. You can even start with $65 a month, 12% interest in one of our college accounts. You do that by the time the child starts saving that when the child turns 4, at least when the child turns 4. By the time the child is 18, you have completely funded their college education. They don't need any student loans or anything like that. If they don't decide to go to college, they have a nice little nest egg. They got their car, their first apartment, right? They got a bunch of things. And we show you how to fund your dreams and goals. Next slide. All right, so we are basically what we call a one-stop shop financial supermarket with home delivery. So whatever you need in the area of finances, we got you. It doesn't matter what it is. We can set up businesses with 401k plans. We can set up annuities. We can set up investments. We can, whatever you need. Even if you need a home security system, we got you. Whatever you need financially to protect your family.
We're Walmart with financial services.
We are. Next slide, please. All right, and so we go over some financial challenges. You got to read that because I can't.
So the first financial challenge, a lot of us are used to this. I mean, almost half Americans say they're gonna run out of money in retirement. And like the sister said, you see people working in Walmart already, although they're literally in their 70s. These people retired from their regular job for the past 15 years, but they've been working there because they do not have the money left in their retirement. We have the financial solution to help people with that. The next one, About 60 million households, and this is a scary one. 60 million households in the United States are underinsured or uninsured. Basically, they have a gap of $200,000.
Right. So again, grandma got that $2,000 policy, that $5,000 policy, that $10,000 policy, and what they weren't not educated about is that that's not enough. Right. So the Bible talks about leaving an inheritance for our children's children. Well, I can't leave no inheritance if I just got $10,000. I'm sorry.
Amen.
That's not gonna help. But if I have a $500,000 to leave, come on, right? That's an inheritance there, right? And so what had been happening in our other brothers and sisters' lives is that what we do, we put $1 million policy on our life, right? If something happens to me, I happen to pass away, $1 million goes passed on to my family. My family is an instant millionaire. Now, what they don't know, that family can't live off 5% of that $1 million, right? And never have to touch the million, right? And so the million keeps growing and the family still is living, and they maintain millionaire status for the duration just because of what dad did. And the last one?
And the last challenge is nearly 30% of Americans have less than $25,000 in savings and investments put away from retirement. Real quick, how long can you stay retired with only $25,000? Not very long at all. So basically, what we teach, like the compound, what she was saying, was we show you how to put that money into an investment account, how to grow that money. So you're growing your money, building towards your retirement, but you're protecting your income that you have right now.
Absolutely. All right. So the next concept. So how we teach families how to navigate through the financial game, because if you don't know how to use money, then you're going to lose this game of money, right? And so how we do that, the first concept we teach families is the rule of compound interest, right? And the pastor talked about compound interest, right? So what compound interest is basically when you take the money, the percentage rate that you're receiving on your cash, you divide that into 72, and it tells you how long it's going to take your money to double. And so that we think that's very important. So the scenario we're going to use, let's take, for example, you inherited 10 grand, right? And you go to the bank. They're really happy to see you. They're going to call, come on, Bishop Mason. You got 10 grand, right? They're going to get all excited. Let's give you the best product, right? So their best product is a certificate of deposit that earns 3% interest. You get all excited. Okay, 3%, because ain't nobody giving 3%. But when you think about 3% into 72 is 24. That means it's going to take your $10,000, 24 years to double, right? To 20. And then it's going to take an additional 24. So how many 24 years doubling periods do you have in your lifetime, right? Not very many. But then what happens is the bank will also say, hey, I'm coming in, Walter's coming in, he wants to buy a car, right? He goes to the bank and they're going to let him borrow Bishop's 10 grand because they're going to make a profit off Bishop's 10 grand. But instead of charging Walter 3%, they're going to charge him 6% interest. Well, 6 in the 72 is 12. That means the bank's money is going to grow every 12 years, while Bishop's money is only growing every 24. At the end of that time frame, the bank makes $120,000 profit off Bishop's 10 grand. But what's worse than that is that the bank is smart, right? They're going to take Bishop's 10 grand, put it in the global economy, right? And the global economy is a safe place to put their money. So they choose mutual funds. Well, mutual funds average 12% interest. Well, 12 in the 72 is 6. So every 6 years, the bank money doubles. Bishop money is still sitting over every 24 years. Bishop's getting a doubling period. But at the same amount of time, the bank makes $2.56 million off Bishop's 10. They ain't putting nothing else with it. So they got $2.5 million profit off Bishop's 10. So what we teach is how to take your money from the bank. We teach you how to bypass that middleman, and we show you how to invest in the global economy. We want you to get that 12% interest. We want you to have those 6 years. 6 years doubling period is so much better than 24, so that you can be in that same place of being a millionaire, right? So next slide, please. So this is an illustration of what we do. We take the money, bypass the bank. We show you how to go to the global economy, how you can get those higher interest rates. Next slide. All right, so why do I need life insurance? And so think about a family. This is a family. They have mom, dad, 2 kids. Mom and dad are both working, right? And they're holding up the bills. They're holding up mortgage. They're holding up gas. They're holding up childcare, all those things, right? And so something happens to dad. Well, this was a 2-income family. If something happens to dad, not only are they devastated from losing dad, but they're also devastated because they lost dad's income. Now, all those things still got to be paid. They still got childcare, still got mortgage, still got all those bills. But that income that was holding them up fell off. And so you see mom trying to hold it all, but it's just, she's failing. But with life insurance in place, it replaces not dad, because we can't replace dad, but we can replace dad's income. And so what we teach is that you want enough life insurance so that if anything would happen to dad, your youngest child would be at least 25 before you'll ever need any more money. And so that life insurance holds up mom and the kids until mom is good. Next slide, please. I can't see that, Ross.
You want to think about planning for the future. You want to plan for tomorrow, but you need to start today. Because what good is planning for tomorrow when tomorrow comes? You want to plan for tomorrow today. So 2 ways we talk about doing that. Number 1, once you create a game plan, that's what we help you do. We're here to help you with that. Our company we work with called Primerica. We help with helping people set up their finances and their financial game plan. So we do those same services, but we're full service financial service. And what that means is we will see you through from the birth of your child to the passing of you. So we want to make sure that you're good every step of the way. And so we do that through 2 ways. One, we do it with term life insurance. And the second, we help you set up a will. Because like she said, you don't want to leave all that money and there's no plan for it. Because how many of y'all ever saw news stories where somebody won the lottery, multi-million dollars, and they broke within a few years? They didn't have a plan. They didn't have a financial coach. That's what we like to help you do.
Yeah, you have to give your money a job. If you don't give your money a job, it's going to go away and it's going to work for somebody else. And so that's how we lose our money. Next slide. Okay, so we educate people on life insurance, and there's 2 basic types, 2 types. The one's called whole life, the other one's called term. And so whole life, we always educate how both works. So just the gist is, this is John and Mary. We put an amount on them. And again, I can't see. I'm gonna step up and see. Okay. All right. So John and Mary, put $100,000 on John, $100,000 on Mary. They're 35 years old, but this cost them $235 a month. Now, let me put this in perspective. $235 is pretty high for a 35-year-old. I have $865,000. I do not pay $235, and I'm 50. Okay, so that gives you, so I pay less than that. Okay, and so, but how it's sold is they're told that part of that money is going to go into a savings account. It's going to build up over time. And by the time they get 65, they have about 75,000 saved. And that's great and good, right? But the only way to access that money is that they must borrow it. Now, they fund it 2 accounts, but they have to borrow from it. Now, if it's my money, I always ask that question. They could never explain to me, really. If it's my money, why am I borrowing it and paying it back? And then you're going to charge me interest on top of it. So that's a downside to that. The other downside to that is if anybody passes away on this one, unfortunately, they'll have to give up that savings. They can only get they'll have to either get the face amount or they'll have to get the savings, but unfortunately, they won't be able to get both. And then any money that they borrowed during that time, it's going to be deducted from that face amount. So it's unfortunate. So what we did was, and then the other part is it takes, before any cash begins to build in this account, unfortunately, you won't see any cash until after the first 3 to 5 years. Okay, so you're going to be paying in 3 to 5 years, but you won't see the accumulation of your cash until then. It's going to be 0 on your illustration. They'll give you an illustration. It shows, they don't hide this. And so the real name of the cash value is called cash surrender value. But if you come to our communities and you say, I got to surrender something, hold up, giving up what? We ain't giving, right? I ain't giving up nothing, right? And so, but what we did was we took that same 235 the family was already spending. We put $250,000 on John, $250,000 on Mary, but it only cost them $82. So we gave them a lot more coverage for a lot less money. But what we did was we saved them $153, right? And so they could do whatever they want with that $153 savings. And most of us, we spend it, right? We see a new purse in our future, some shoes in our future, right? But instead, the next concept, in addition to compound interest, we teach is pay you first. Create a bill. You are the bill, right? Pay you first. And so that's what John and Mary did. They took that 153 and they wanted to invest at about 9%. And over the course of the same time, 30 years, they had $283,000 saved. So if anything happens to John, Mary gets that 250 on his life, or Mary gets all the money that they've saved. And then if nothing happens to John, nothing happens to Mary, they still have that 283. We are the only company that's going to teach you. We don't want you to have life insurance forever. Our mission statement is to build wealth. We want you to create wealth. The goal is that you have this temporarily until you build your wealth. Once your wealth is built, you don't need life insurance. It's just insurance to make sure that you have wealth. It's insurance to ensure that you have wealth. If you build your wealth, you don't need the insurance. Okay? So that's what we teach. Next slide. All right, I'm turning this over to Walter because I don't know nothing about investment.
This is why I pick up now. I'm securities licensed, meaning I am licensed to invest your money, help you find mutual funds, help you get invested in something that's going to grow your wealth. Next slide. So basically, right now, folks, most of us, we're living in a debt cycle. Our life revolves around our debt. Everything's about trying to make another dollar to pay off a bill. But our goal is to move you from a debt cycle to a cash cycle, to where now you're telling your money what to do. You're guiding your money where you want it to go. So that is our goal, is to get that done. Next slide. So to do that, we show you three different things. The first thing we do is we want to show you how to start an emergency fund. Now, an emergency account, basically, you want to have about 3 months of income saved up. All right, that's to cover anything that might come up over the next 2 years. All right, and that's like emergencies, unplanned medical expenses, and so forth. Those when your car transmission breaks down at the worst possible time, you want to have money put aside for that already. That's about 3 months of your income. And then second, you want to have a short-term account. Now, this is for between up to 5 years. Now we're talking about things like if you do plan on buying a car or a house in the next 5 years, you didn't just wake up one morning and decide to buy a car. You have to plan for it. We help you do that. We show you how to do that. 6 months of your income would cover that. And then last but not least, you need to be in charge of your own retirement income. Why are you trusting somebody who has more interest in what happens to your family, you or your job? You do. So why would you leave that important task to someone else? Set yourself up. Yes, take advantage of everything your company offers, 401k, all that. But you also need to have savings that you're in charge of, because you know who's not going to cut your benefits? You're not. You're going to look out for you. Okay, next slide. So
I also wanted to mention that with our investment accounts, you can start with as little as 25.
I was going to get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry, my bad.
No, thank you for chiming that in. So, because last thing we like to talk about is money, but the thing we need to talk about most is money. We need to know how much it costs to do some of these things we're talking about. And yes, there are thresholds to get involved, but it depends what you get involved in. We have accounts that you can get started, a mutual fund account with $25 a month. Now, let's be real. If you 53 and you're doing $25 a month, it's going to take you a minute, all right, to save what you want. You're going to save, but it's going to take you a while. Now, the reason I'm saying this, because I'm seeing all ages and demographics out here in the audience. So if you don't mind me picking on y'all, if you got a young baby and you're a young couple, you can start with $25 a month and build it up. You got time to invest. If you're my age, which is 50, I'm proud of my age. Thank God, let me have 52 years, praise God. But if you're 52 years old, $25 a month, it's going to take a little bit more than that. Here's the thing. We show you how to do that. We show you how to make that work for you. So the goal is you want to save and invest. So what we like to do is we like to help people save on term insurance because term insurance is least expensive of the different types of insurance. So if you're investing for 30 years in term insurance, don't just pay that low premium and just ride it out. You should also be making a move on the other end. You protect your income while you're building your wealth. And that's the principle that we always go back to. Next slide. So basically, like I said, pay yourself first. Here's a very quick little chart. Let's say you have $200 that you can put aside every month for investment. So of that 200, 50% of it needs to go towards your emergency fund because you want to build it up quickest. So 50% goes towards emergency fund, all right? So there's $100 towards emergency fund. Then 25%, now my eyes messing with me, that's crazy. Okay, so 25%, how y'all gonna laugh at people with bad eyes? God don't like ugly. All right, so 25 is gonna go to a short term. That's what I told you for anything for 3 to 5 years. Okay, so that's 25, so $50 towards short term and $50 towards your wealth and retirement. You say, well, wait a minute, Walt, I'm gonna need more than $50 a month for wealth. Here's the thing, now this is where that faith comes in. Walk by faith, not by sight. So we walk and believing, okay, Lord, I'm believing I'm gonna live out my time to hit my retirement and my job. I'm believing in that, so I'm gonna put $50 a month for the next 30 years into a retirement and wealth building. And the beauty is we help you. So, okay, so hey, what's your name, sir? So Madison, hey man, look, you've been putting aside $50 a month for this for a while now. We've been putting it in a mutual fund. Well, hey dude, I just checked. You got $5,000 built up here. So now we got enough to move it into something more secure, or we can keep it. Now you're a young guy. You could afford to take a little bit more risk if you want to. Okay? You got time because you still have those other accounts that you're putting money into. And let me say this. You say, well, Mr. Brown, what if I lose my money? Real quick, we're going to talk about some wealth building concepts. One of the wealth building concepts that people with a lot of money use that we don't necessarily take advantage of is something called realized and unrealized gains and losses. What that means is if you invest your money into accounts, so Brother Smith, you invest your money in Coca-Cola. You know what? I'm going to save that one. Let's go to the next slide. I'm going to save that one. All right. So first, we show you how to take that 200 that you're putting aside for savings and divide it up and allocate it to your best accounts. Second, we show you how to create a budget on what you have. And the one that's probably the easiest to remember is 50, 30, 20. Everybody say that. 50, 30, 20. That means every month your budget, 50% of your budget should go towards needs. Do not let 50% go towards wants. If you buying shoes before you buying groceries, your priorities are woefully unaligned. Okay? So take 50% of that, put it towards what you need. Groceries, transportation, rent. Okay? And then 30%, that's the part you can't play with. Okay, well, 30% is a little flexible. I can do a little something with it if you have it to spare. This does require discipline, folks, if you have it to spare. And then 20%, save it. No matter what, save it. Put in your savings. Matter of fact, if you have, and we do operate off of a payroll withdrawal, so you don't have to think about taking it out. If you have payroll, do that so that you don't even have to think about it every month. It's just automatic. Do that 20%, put it into your savings. Okay? So, next slide. Mutual funds is probably the most effective long-term investment vehicle. Mutual funds have been around for well over 100 years in some form or another. Now, there has never been a 40-year period of time where a mutual fund has just dropped dead and never recovered. All stocks bounce up and down. Are there stocks that crash and burn? Yes, they are. That's why mutual funds is a better route to go, and I'm going to show you why next. So let's say, for instance, Tesla. I don't know if y'all know who the guy that runs Tesla, Elon Musk. He got some people upset. Tesla was one of the best performing stocks. He upset some people. Now the stock has dropped. So here's the thing. Let's say if all your money was in Tesla. So let's say these are window panes right here. Can you back it up one? Oh, go ahead. All right, so basically, okay, I couldn't see this. Okay, so let's say Tesla is one big window pane, and somebody hit a baseball through that window pane. What's going to happen? Shatters. The whole thing falls apart. That's what's kind of happened with Tesla. Well, because all of my money was in Tesla, that's my only window pane. I'm looking over the edge. Lord, are you going to catch me if I fall? Okay, but with a mutual fund, yes, I had money in Tesla, but I also got money in Apple. I also got money in Lowe's. I also got money in AT&T, Ford, Coke, Walmart, McDonald's. You see a lot of food over here. Can you figure out why? And then last but not least, Lowe's. Okay, so now same baseball, same pain, Tesla shatters. But because I have all these others in my portfolio, I'm okay. It absorbs the loss. And you think Tesla's going to stay down forever? Nah. There was a time when Tesla was probably trading for $20, $30 a share. You go to Tesla right now with $20, $30, they're going to laugh you out the building. Here's the other beautiful thing about mutual funds. Mutual funds allow you to invest in some of the biggest companies out there, but you don't have to have $5,000 to do it. You pay $25 a month for a mutual fund. The company divides that $25 up over all the companies we're part of. And they do that every time. So over time, you're building your equity with those companies. And you're okay if something happens with Tesla. You got all those other companies to catch the brunt. Next slide. So basically, you also want to make sure you don't live beyond your means. This is something that, again, it requires discipline. Don't just think about you, think about your family. Make sure you want to leave something behind for your family. Next slide. Also, wealth building concepts. I mentioned Brother Madison, but also we have gentlemen like, I'm going to pick on Kenny, Brother Kenneth, okay, who are a little bit older than Brother Madison probably, okay? We all still need to work on our wealth building concepts. Make sure that during the time that you have to grow your money, that's exactly what you're doing. We help you find the growth funds that'll do that. Then when you get close to the retirement age, we help you switch over to those funds that are now going to provide money for you in your retirement. Next slide. And then also we talk about paying off debt. I'm going to kind of zoom through this. I see our time ticking down. But paying off debt, we show you a debt stacking program. You know, you pay off one debt. Don't just say, oh, good, I just freed up $200 on my credit card bill. And then you go build up a $500 credit card bill. Don't do that. Learn to discipline yourself. You want to get yourself to the point where you're living off of cash, not borrowing. Okay? Because right now we live in an area where we rob Peter to pay Paul. It's worse than that now. We rob Peter, John, Luke, Thomas, to pay Judas. And then we still turn around the next month and we got to do it again. And some people say, well, I live paycheck to paycheck. No. A lot of people live in paycheck to pay their loan to paycheck. That paycheck is not good enough to get you to the next paycheck. Come on. So we want to show you how to get out of that. We can do that. Next slide. So basically, and I'm talking not that says married couples, I'm talking to everybody out there. You want to create some simple programs to help you start your financial life as soon as possible. And no matter what age you are, we can show you how to do that. Next slide. So saving for your child's education, start thinking about your child's education now, today. If you don't have a child, you have a grandchild, think about that grandchild. Go ahead. You want to say something? Okay. Next slide. And then, of course, you want to make sure you save for retirement. I think that's a given. Go ahead. So this is the theory of decreasing responsibility. So basically just simply means you want to make sure that in the early part of your life, you're planning for if something happens to you now. But you also want to be planning for something to happen to you in the future. Okay. And last but not least, we offer financial needs analysis. I know our time is up. I want to be respectful of the time the pastor gave us. Thank you so much, Pastor Mason. We're going to leave some brochures here, and also I have some little sign-up sheets that I'm going to have with me. If you want to learn more about what we've shown you, if you get your name and your phone number, if it's insurance needs, Sister Montgomery will be reaching out. If it's dealing with investments, I'll reach out. But no obligation. I just want to sit down, show you some of your options. I think you all agree it's not wise to make decisions without knowing which options are. Okay, next slide. I think we are. Are we through? Next one. Okay, next one. I just want to get to the slide with our contact information. Right there. So you see Sister Montgomery's on the right side because she's always right. My my information's on the left. And again, I'm gonna leave some slide with the past information. I'm gonna leave some brochures, had some contact information on it. Feel free to reach out to me. I work on my own schedule. Anytime you need to talk, just give me a call. Same with Sister Montgomery, and I'm gonna let her close us out. Thank y'all.
Thank you guys so much. Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am. Well,
She asked what was the better life insurance
right.
term or whole life.
So the better life insurance is what we consider term because it's a low cost and it has an investment. So by law, by insurance law, you cannot call whole life an investment, even though there's a savings component, because you actually don't get to keep the money. The money goes away. So if you borrow it, it takes from the death benefit. If you don't borrow it and someone dies, all that money you save goes back to the insurance company. So it does not benefit you in the long run. So we do not promote it because we're all about building wealth for you and not for us. So we don't make as much money off our policies as the other agents do on whole life. The reason why they move it, they make a lot of, it's a lot of commission. It's a great product for the agency and the insurance company, but it's a horrible product for you. And so we teach term because you should be investing. It's just insurance. You don't go borrow money from your car or your health or your mortgage insurance. It's literally protecting those things. So life insurance protects your life, but it does not build wealth.
Limit?
Term life does not technically have an age limit. No, because whole life is term life. It just has a savings component attached. So all life insurance is term, and all of it terms out by age 100, age 95. That includes term. Yes.
Well, I just was trying to figure it out.
Speak, sister,
Yes, sir.
speak it. Dancing at your 100th birthday party, I'll tell you now.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Oh, another question. I'm sorry.
Just real quick, because I know you mentioned your son with autism. So we have
Yes.
a daughter with Down syndrome, and
Yes.
I've been fighting for her with insurance. So we have something right now, but we want to work with you guys. But will I run into an issue as far as having her covered and whatnot? Have you found that?
Downs is not a question. Downs is not a question in our medical questions.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you. That's
And
all
let-
I need to know.
and
You
let me
gotta
share
listen
this-
to my.
And let me
That's
share this real quick. We don't even know each other from our hometown, but also I have a 30-year-old son who's nonverbal autistic, pervasive development delays. And now what I did, I used the whole idea of having coverage. So my wife is covered, and we have an actual savings security account open for him. And we just found out that there's a company that we represent that also offers something called the ABLE account. And I would love to talk to you about that. It is specifically for people with
Yes.
developmental delays.
Absolutely.
So I would love to talk to you about that. Okay.
Awesome. Any more questions?
Any other questions?
Last thing real quick, y'all. I'm sorry, Pastor. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to leave these brochures here. There's one on investing at retirement. Don't think just because you're 30, 20 years old, you don't even look at this one. Look at this one, but also look at the one with the basics for investing. And
It
after
goes
you
through
have-
everything that we talked
It's
about
the same thing we
today.
just talked about, a little more detail. After you get a chance to look at that, if you want more information, my contact information is on the back. If you reach out to me, if you need the insurance, I can give you Sister Montgomery's information.
Or
if
the
you didn't
financial
get it.
needs analysis.
Or the financial needs analysis. This is a big deal. 30
Yeah.
minutes, meeting with one of us for 30 minutes.
And we
can go over
actually
your
give you a
financials.
detailed,
We give
it's-
you a
it's
map.
literally a detailed manual on how to put your money to work for you.
We give
So,
you a map.
Yes.
This is how much you say you need for retirement. This is the best way to get there with what you make.
Yes.
Okay? And that is
Thank you.
complimentary, by the way. Thank y'all.
Come on, y'all. Let's give all of our presenters a standing ovation. Come on, come on, come on. Family, the reason I'm standing up here is not to rush them, but to let you know the necessity of taking advantage of what they have to offer. Right in our midst, we had two persons that were in the financial field of investing, living will benefits, life insurance, etc. We need to give God praise for that. We've been talking about making money moves, and now we have the opportunity to take the practical steps to get it done. Statistically speaking, hear this clearly, 43% of the Americans in which you work with, live with, know daily are financially illiterate. 43%. 25% say they don't have a trusted voice that they can listen to concerning financial matters. We have trusted sources here that we can listen to. Take advantage of it. Proverbs 4:7 said, wisdom is the principal thing. In all thy getting, get an understanding. The principal thing means that's what you need more than anything else, because a lack of knowledge is going to cause you to perish. We've got to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. We've got to start leaving an inheritance to our children's children. And let me say this, one of the things that Sister Montgomery said, as well as I think Pastor Mack, is that we want to get to the place where we no longer need insurance. Wealthy folk don't have life insurance. They don't need it. And so this is our opportunity, if we have it, before we get to that place of wealth, where we can leave something, we can leave something to our children's children, and we can create legacy money, because that's what we want to do. We want legacy wealth, but it starts here. It can start with $25 in an annuity. It can start with you getting that 50, 30, 20 plan. But can I tell you where it really starts? A paradigm shift in your mind. You got to see money differently. And we've got to stop letting money master us and learn how to master money. But you'll never become a money master if you don't become a money manager. And it's important. Hear me. Last thing I'm going to say is this. Financial literacy and education are different. Literacy is acquiring the knowledge. Education is applying it. So you can get all this literacy, but if you don't leave here and apply it, it won't mean nothing at all. Come on, give God praise for them again. Thank God for them. Listen, guys, we're getting ready to shift. Pastor O'Neill, come now, if you would, please, and he's going to get ready to close us out. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Because we need y'all to take advantage of all of the literature. Matter of fact, y'all, why don't y'all leave it here? You believe it here right now, and so they can just come and get it, and then leave the rest of it out there. We want to go ahead and do this in real time. We don't want to leave this to chance. Folk need to get this and put their hands on it. So, guys, come on. Let's just come back like it's a buffet with food. Let's just get it. We need it. We're trying to make money moves. We're trying to be better than what we are. And then we're going to go to our next phase. Once again, while you're coming, clap your hands for our presenters and thank God for them.
Amen, amen, amen. Remember, we have juice and snacks over here, so make sure you take advantage of that. We thank you for the presenters on today, and make sure you get all the documents you need. Remember, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violence does what? You take it by what? Take it by force. So like Bitch said, we get ready to transition into our next part of the service. Okay, right now, let's go ahead and pray us out. And then I'm getting ready to turn you over to Sean here. Ren's here yet? Okay, I'm going to turn you over to your departments. You remember when you meet with your departments on the morning, Sean, she's coming. Come on up, Sean. So remember when we get ready to meet, after I turn over to Sean, she'll go over our protocol. And remember, when you get ready to meet with your departments on the morning, be strategic and talking about what we need to accomplish on today. And make sure y'all come get some of these snacks and drink. Sean, here you go.
We have approximately 15 minutes. No, I'm gonna give y'all a 15-minute window. Today is our youth service, and when I say the youth are ready, y'all, the youth are ready. They have an awesome program that is going to bless your hearts on today. And I just ask that you just stand behind them, push them, pray for them. Um,